Hello, welcome to lesson 8. And since I'm wearing my green shirt today, my Midori no Shatsu, I felt like my hat would go well with it too. Apparently this is a Minecraft hat. I didn't know it when I bought it. Bought it in Korea because the sun was really bright. So today we're going to be wearing a hat. So today we're moving right along. I'm very, very excited. Oh, and on top of my green, today is Green Day. On top of all of the excitement with my hat, we are moving really fast through the lessons. We're going to be talking about kind of a big topic today. It is months, days of the month. I thought it was something else. It's months and days of the month, which aren't that difficult, but they require you to know some counting and to learn some new counting that we don't know yet. You will need to know ma, mi, mu, me, mo. Aka, sa, ta, na, ha, ma. All we have left is ya and la, and then one lesson on compounds, and you'll know all of the hiragana. You know, I want you to think about this. We're only on lesson 8. You have made extensive progress with Japanese, and we still are just on lesson 8. I mean, it's so fun because we are now getting to the point where we know so much that I can't adequately review everything when I'm making examples. I'm just trying to, oh yeah, we should do that. Oh yeah, oh gosh, what about that? Can't do it all because we know so much and we're starting to be able to build longer and more complicated concepts. Let's look at some new words that we need to know. You'll notice that there's a pattern that in every new lesson we are learning new question words and then we're learning how to answer those question words. And that is a really important thing to do when you're learning your foundation of Japanese. First new word today is itsu. Itsu. Itsu just means when. And nangatsu. Nangatsu. Man, I can't wait until we know the N, the un. Some of you already know it. It's really easy. And maybe in a future version of the book, I'll just teach it as the first character because it comes up so much and it looks so awkward all by itself. But it is nangatsu means what month. And nannichi. Nannichi, not nanichi. That un is very important. So nannichi means what day of the month. We're going to learn some sets of words here. It's very important. The set is today, tomorrow, and yesterday. They're very important. Kyo, kyo. Ashita, ashita. Not ashita. Never ashita or ashita. It's ashita, ashita. And tomorrow is kino, kino. Remember, it is lengthened because we have that u at the end that effectively basically doubles the sound of the o before it, right? So it's ki no u. Kino u is not right though. It doesn't sound right. It's kino, kino. It's really just a lengthener. Okay, so by the way, you really should have already done the lesson before we get to this video. Even though I know it's probably a link at the top of the video. Or maybe watch it once, go through the lesson, and then watch it again. So now that we have these day words, let's get to the main part of this lesson, and that is days of the month. These are a little bit tricky because it's based on a counting system that we don't know. We know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But this is based off of another system that we have yet to learn. This is your first introduction to the other way of counting in Japanese, but it's unique to days of the month, unfortunately, this particular one. So first day of the month is tsuitachi, tsuitachi, futsuka, futsuka. So futsuka means the second day of the month. Mikka, mikka. Now it's important that little tsu is treated properly. You have to say mikka, not mika. And it's also important to know that this is a big tsu. So it's not fukka, it's futsuka, futsuka. The fourth is yokka, yokka. Now this one is really important to make sure that you know that little tsu is there because when we get to the 8th, you're going to see they look similar. Okay? Yokka is the fourth. It is never a she word or anything like that. these are set words that are never different, okay? 1日、2日、3日、4日、5日、5日. Now, 5日 means the fifth. But if you look it up in the dictionary, just in hiragana, you look up 5日, it also means someday. So there's a kind of a funny thing that'll happen. You say, hey, what day of the month are we going to do this thing? Or when are we going to do this thing? And someone might say, 5日. And that could mean the fifth or sometime. One of these days. Okay? 6日. 6日. The sixth. 6日. 7日. 7日. 8日. Now this is why these are yellowed, because 4日 is the fourth, 8日 is the eighth. 4日、8日、9日、9日. Oh God, I lengthened it. Don't do that. 9日、9日. And the 10th, 10日. Now this is kind of interesting. We haven't really seen something like an O directly after the to like that, but it almost does the exact same thing as if this was an U. It just lengthens it. 10日、10日. Okay? Now, lucky for us, it's only the first 10, for the most part, that are awkward. After the first 10, it's just number plus nichi. For example, and I don't even have them all listed. The 11th is 11 nichi. The 12th is 12 nichi. The 19th is 19 nichi. Okay? So, they're not special in any way. They just say the number plus nichi after. There are, however, 3 special ones. There's the 14th, which is 14. 14. The 20th, if you remember, when you say 20 years old, what is that? Who remembers what 20 years old is? Is it 20 歳? Of course not, or I wouldn't be mentioning it. It's 20歳. Well, this is 20日. Okay? 20日 is special. It's the 20th. Don't ask me why. I actually don't know why that one is special. And the 24th. So the 14th and the 24th are both special, but they follow the same pattern. 24 and 14. Okay? But the 8th, remember that the 8th was 8. The 28th and the 18th, they're just 18 nichi for the 18th and 28 nichi for the 28th. Now, if you go back to this list and you remember that we can use nichi after a number and you say ichi nichi, it doesn't mean the first. That means one day. And ni nichi means 2 days. So you have to be careful and say 2日 and 1日. So 1日、2日、3日、4日、5日、6日、7日、8日、9日, and 10日. And if you make a mistake and you say 20日, it's wrong. It will mean 20 days. But they probably will understand you if you had a month before that, if you're saying like a full date. So let's go ahead and let's put some sentences to it. Before I click to the next screen, how would you say, what day of the month is today? Using the grammar that we already know and the new word, nannichi. Nannichi. What day of the month is it? And I'll take a little bit of a break. Kind of a funny story. This is called shipchircha. Shipchircha, that's Korean, by the way, for 17 tea. But in Japan, they have a tea called jurokcha. And basically, Korean just one-upped them and added a different type of tea to make 17 types of tea instead of a 16 tea. Kind of funny. Funny story. All right. So, how do you say, speaking of today, what day of the month is it? That's not how you would say it in English, by the way. You would just say, what day of the month is today? 今日は何日ですか? 今日は何日ですか? Now, if you just said to somebody, 何日ですか? And there was no topic at all, they would know you mean, hey, what day of the week is it? Today. Not what day of the week, sorry, what day of the month is it? What's the date? They would know 何日ですか means today, right? All right. Or let's say we were talking about someone's birthday party. Yeah, I'm gonna have a birthday party for Sheila. Sheila's turning 34 finally, and then someone just randomly says, "Nanichi desu ka?" Now it means, what day of the week is it, or what day of the month is it for Sheila's birthday? Because we've already set a context. It's the exact same thing in English, but sometimes you forget these things in Japanese because it's this whole new language. So, for example, we were saying, oh yeah, it's Sheila's birthday. We're going to be doing something special next week. And then someone says, what day of the week is it? Or what day of the month is it? Sorry, what day of the month is it? What's the date? You would know that it meant for that thing. So you could just say, nannichi desu ka? All right. What if I said, okay, I'm sorry, this makes no sense. This makes no sense. I don't know why it's here. Let's ignore that it exists because kyou wa itsu desu ka? That means when is today? That makes no. I'm sorry, that makes no sense. Let's just imagine that the kyou wa wasn't there. It's not there, and we were talking about Sheila's birthday party. I don't know anyone named Sheila, but if you're in the audience watching, you're excited. I know your name now. So Sheila's birthday, blah blah blah, coming up, blah blah blah, and someone says, "What? Wait, itsu desu ka? When is it? Itsu desu ka?" Okay, so nannichi desu ka, itsu desu ka. Remember, the topic is already there. Here we go. This is better. Let's talk about a party. A party can be when, right? So, party wa nannichi desu ka? Party wa nannichi desu ka? What day of the month is the party? What if it was the 21st day of the month? I don't have the answer. The answer isn't on the screen. But you can figure it out, right? 21日です。21日です. What if it was one day prior to that, the 20th? You guys are smart. 20日. 20日. It could never be 20日です. But I could also say, パーティーはいつですか? When is the party? And the exact same answer. I could literally say either one of these questions and still get 21日です. Because with itsu, any time can come up. It could be the actual time of the day, which we don't know yet. We're going to learn that coming up. By the way, comments are now all approved on YouTube because people like to give the answers ahead of time. When I purposely don't teach you how to say, for example, 3 o'clock, it's because I need you to absorb the current material. One of the things I would tell you to try to not do is don't move too fast. Get this material down. It's kind of I'm going to kind of be a hypocrite here for a second. When you get really lost in something, sometimes you need to move forward. But sometimes you need to make sure you're not going so fast that you're learning similar concepts all at the same time. I'll give you a quick small story. We already know these phrases. We know kore, sore, are, dore, and we know koko, soko, asoko, doko. And they're both koso ado words. So in a very early version of the lessons, which I taught in live class, I used to teach in a live class, and I would make these lessons, and then I would revise them based on the student's understanding of that lesson. So often, I would have at the bottom of the lesson, it would say the date. And I would have to double check, hey, what date do you have? What version do you have? Because I was constantly rewriting the lessons. I didn't write these lessons because of some sixth sense that I have about Japanese. These lessons got rewritten over and over and over again, okay? But when I first did the lesson about koso ado words, which we did, I taught kore, sore, are, and koko, soko, asoko together. And no one could do it. It was horrible. It was so frustrating. We're talking maybe 15 years ago now, or more, maybe 17 years ago. I remember I had this big binder of lessons, and the students didn't understand that lesson that day. They could not get the concepts together between kore and koko because they were so similar. They were so similar that they were confused. So when everyone left the room, I remember I was so frustrated. I picked up that large binder. My wife was like sitting next to me. I picked up this large binder about that thick, and I threw it. I was like, なんで分かってねえんだよ! こんなに簡単なことなんでみんなが分からないんだよ! That's what I said. I said, how come these guys don't understand? Such a simple thing, why don't they understand? But see, you see, the thing is, it's not simple. It is not. It is simple when you know it, but when you first learn it, oh my God, it's hard to put these concepts all together and keep it all together until it's like in your very, very long-term memory. but it takes time to get there. And what's happening is on YouTube, people are going, excuse me, I got so excited I forgot to breathe. These people on YouTube are saying, spoiler alert, when you do this, it's this, and then you do that. And what they're doing is they're hurting the beginner. They're probably hurting you because two things can happen. One, you go, oh my God, I don't know enough, and your heart hurts. Or one, you try to learn what they taught you, but they gave you maybe not complete information. They just spouted off what they knew, and then all of a sudden, now you're hurt. You don't know what to do, and you're exhausted. And I'm exhausted looking at those things. So what I'm doing from this point forward, FYI, I am going to approve any comments that come in so I can stop what I'm going to call the spoiler guys, or also there are trolls, which I've had to stop. So I apologize for that, but only on this series because we're going in a certain order and we're curating a certain style, we're going to do that. All right. You could fast forward through that the second time you watch this video. Now, we could say with itsu desu ka, when is it, right? Again, that could be a day. That could be a day of the week, which we're going to learn in the next lesson. That could be the date of the month. That could be a time. That could be a floating time like next week or next Thursday or next year in June. It could be anything because we're saying itsu, but the sentence structure doesn't change. That's what's beautiful about Japanese. Okay? So, party wa itsu desu ka? What if it is the 15th? It is 15 nichi. 15 nichi. All right. That wasn't on the screen, but there it is. I apologize. I thought it was. It's party wa maru-maru, right? Party wa anytime desu. Except when we ask, party wa nannichi desu ka? We must come back with a date of the month, not a time or a weekday, okay? That's when we're asking a specific question. Party wa nannichi desu ka? 15 nichi desu. Party wa itsu desu ka? 15 nichi desu. Here's a common question. 誕生日はいつですか? 誕生日 means birthday. When is your birthday? 誕生日はいつですか? Now, we have not learned months yet. We haven't learned it yet. So, you could just say something like 明日です. It's tomorrow. Or 今日です. It's today. Okay? We're going to learn months in the very next frame. And then we'll do a full birthday. So, what if someone just asks you, 誕生日は何月ですか? Now they're asking for a specific month, and we'll get to that in a second. Party wa something something desu. Now let's get to those months. Months are luckily easy. It's just number plus gatsu. 1月、2月、3月、4月. Never 4月 ever. I was talking with my wife, who's Japanese, and I was thinking about the two versions of 4. And I thought, I wonder if I should just come up with a list of all the times where they're separated, right? Yon or shi. And I really could only come up with 2 times that shi is used. And this is one of them. Shigatsu is I just came up with another one in my brain. Just came up with another one. Shigatsu means April. But you can use it also to say, for example, it's 4 or 5 minutes. We don't know minutes yet, but I'll just give it to you. Shi go hun. They just say 4, 5 minutes. 4 or 5 minutes. Don't remember that. I'm just showing you an example. And I just thought of one more. When you say square, the word is shikaku. That it means 4 corners. Shikaku. Kind of a random one I just came up with right now. But typically you're going to use yon. Just never here. It's going to be shigatsu. 5月, 6月, 7月, never 7月, always 7月, 8月, 9月, never 9月, and 10月. And you can guess what November and December are. 11月 is November and 12月 is December. And this is really easy if you always knew what number the month was. If you don't know what number the month is normally, this is going to help you out tremendously. How would you answer this question? クリスマスは何月ですか? クリスマスは何月ですか? If you don't celebrate Christmas, I apologize. It is, in fact, in December. So, the answer to what month is Christmas is 12月です. And I don't know why I have it twice. It says 12月です. Could I just quickly fix that? That is awkward. Don't want someone to think that you say it twice. Okay. So, 12月です. Now, I went ahead and put this up just to show you that typically Japanese people, they're not going to write it in hiragana. They're not going to write 12 and then gatsu. And also, even when you learn kanji, they're not going to write kanji number, gatsu. Most of the time, they're going to write the numbers that we're familiar with. Japanese use I forgot these are called Arabic numbers. They're actually called Arabic numbers. They're not American numbers or English numbers because I believe math was invented initially by Arabian people of that era, of that area. I actually don't remember. You can post it in the comments and I will approve it. I'll take time to approve it because actually, if we talk, I'm not going to make fun of the people on YouTube. You guys are awesome. I love you all. I really do. I really do. All right. So 12月. 12月. 子供の日はいつですか? So that's one of the words in this lesson. 子供の日. It means Children's Day. When is Children's Day? Now, right now, we could say the complete day, but let's just start with the month. 5月です. It's in May. Because maybe you didn't remember the whole day. But the whole day is 5月5日です. It is May 5th. Matter of fact, there's a whole bunch of really cool holidays all in a row in Japan, and they call that Golden Week, and it starts in the beginning of May. It's the huge holiday season in Japan. You might not want to book a trip to Japan on Golden Week because a lot of places will be sporadically closed, but your friends will have time to hang out with you maybe. All right, let's just go through some quick dates, and then we will be over with this. If you want to say a complete date, you say month and then day of the month, just like English. So, for example, New Year's Day, January 1st. It's like a barley tea, really, more than anything. So it is 1月1日. 1月1日, not 1月1日. But if you were going to accidentally say 1日, saying 1月in front of it would make them understand better because it's wrong. It's like saying January 1 day. January 1 day. When is it? Oh, it's January 1 day. But if a Japanese person did that to you, you would understand that he meant the first. January 28th is the Chinese New Year this year. I think it changes every year. And this year, or next year, sorry, for 2017, it will be January 28th. What is that in Japanese? 1月28日. 1月28日. I feel like the hat's making me hot or something here. February 14th. We all know this. This is Valentine's Day. If you said 2月14日, so close. But wrong. 2月14日. 4日. All right, July 20th. This is the day in 1969, I think it was 69, that we landed on the moon. That the human race first set foot on the moon was July 20th, before I was born. And that is it 4月? No, that's April. Is it 7月? No. It is 7月20日, not 20日. Must be 20日. Thank you for watching, and I apologize for my rant about YouTube. You know I do love you guys. I'll see you all in the next lesson, which we are going to talk about a little bit of a continuation on the date thing. Actually, we're going to talk about past tense now that I remembered it. We're going to be talking about past tense, which we have not yet done. That is a continuation of lesson 8. See you then, Johnny.